Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figure It Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of May 2023. Been an interesting month. I got a couple of things you guys have already seen. I went to one convention, and then we got a whole bunch of various packages, so we're going to talk all about it. But if you guys could do me a favor before we get into it, though, like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before, as well as check out all the social media stuff in the description. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, that's a big help, as well as Spreadshirt and all sorts of other stuff. And plus my travel channel, Flying and Eating, which is about adventures to things such as that convention, but other places all around the world that maybe you guys would get a kick out of if you ever want to travel or just see what the world is like through the lens in which I can show it to you. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Now, let's get on with the pickups. First couple of things just to kind of get out of the way here, because I know you already saw them, hopefully. And I did videos on each one of these. Is some new Dreamcast games. We've got Androdunos 1 and Androdunos 2. Don't have much to say on them, because like I said, did videos on each one of them, but they're both new shoot-'em-ups for the Sega Dreamcast, put out by Pixel Heart and Josh Prot. So if you're interested in that, again, check out those videos, and you can get new Dreamcast games. Now, something I did technically show you guys once, but it's coming back around for a reason. This is a PC Engine Duo RX, a Japanese variant of the PC Engine that had both, you know, the PC Engine as well as the CD built into a single unit. And there was a Duo R, and then this is the Duo RX, and it's just an upgraded version, this, that, and the other. I showed this to you guys last year because I picked it up at PRGE 2022. However, when I got it, it was very cheap, but it was also very clear on the fact that it did not work. And I knew that going in. My buddy Chris, who lives down in Indiana, said, yeah, he's like the guy for repairing anything PC Engine related. He also works on a bunch of other stuff for me as well. He was cool enough to say, yeah, you know what, I will take a crack at this thing and see if I can get it running again. And he did. Not only did he get it working perfectly, he also did some modifications. On the back, there's a switch now that actually makes it region-free, so it technically will play the PC Engine stuff, the TurboGrafx stuff, excuse me. And it also is RGB modded, which was the big one, so now it has beautiful, clear RGB signal natively right out of the system. Perfect, works flawlessly, and really I'm just showing you that not only did this system survive, but if you are in the market to get consoles repaired or modified, especially PC Engine type of things or TurboGrafx stuff, I'll put an email in the description to Chris. You can contact him and work out anything you might want to do. But yeah, he's a really cool guy, and so thank you very much, and I thought you guys just might like to see an obscure system that will maybe one day get its own video if we do a rare variance. There's a whole bunch of PC Engine stuff I guess I could do. I did technically show you guys this in a cameo. I had a PC Engine video not that long ago about the Turbo Express, and this was actually featured in it, but yeah, there you go. Now, on to some new things. So the only convention I did this month was Korg's, which I had never been to. It's a convention in Columbus, Ohio. It was a lot of fun. To be honest, though, I mostly just kind of sat around at my table. I didn't do a whole lot of shopping, but I did do a little bit. I just kind of chipped away at the original Xbox collection. I guess I could show you my badge there if you want to see that. But yeah, technically, I never got a guest badge. I got a vendor badge, which was really funny because the guy who runs it, his name's Gary. Super nice guy. Like, I just walked into the con. Like, they knew me based on my face, and nobody ever came around to give me a guest badge. And so by the time he was like, do you want a badge? It was like 10 minutes left in the con. I was like, I don't really need one. No one's bothered me the whole time. He's like, here, just take a badge. He's like, I only got vendor badges left. And I was like, that's okay. So thank you very much. I didn't need it, but I appreciate it. But I did pick up a couple of games, like I said, for the Xbox. The refresher course. The original Xbox is probably the only system left where I'm trying to get a full set, with the one exception being the N-Gage, and I'm only one game away on that. The Xbox is just, I think after that, I'm no longer pursuing full sets. I have all the Asian stuff. So there was like 48 Japanese games. There was one exclusive to South Korea. There was one exclusive to like Taiwan and Singapore. I have all those. I have all the European exclusive stuff. I have all the Australian exclusive stuff. The only one, ironically, I don't have is all the American stuff, but I'm working on it, so it's just chipping away, chipping away. I haven't been that proactive on it. It's more like when I'm at a con, if I see a couple games I need and they're just kind of cheap, I just kind of do it. So, yeah. This is what I got. Gravity Games, Bike Street, Very Dirt. I didn't realize how stupid that name was until I said it out loud. Anyway, yeah, this was made by Midway when they still existed, and under Midway Sports Asylum, which was, if I recall correctly, it was a very temporary split or spin-off type of brand. But yeah, that was, again, I think really during the whole Tony Hawk craze or like the weaning days of it. Anyway, We got Smashing Drive by Namco. I don't really remember this one very well. It just looks like you're playing as like these big monster taxis and racing, and probably somewhat of an attempt to spin off of Crazy Taxi, not directly, more like in Seoul, and those Yakuza racing games before the Sega's Yakuza franchise. But like Reckless, you guys remember those? I think this was that kind of that era. Dakar 2, The World's Ultimate Rally, yet another racing game by Acclaim, who also does no longer exist. I don't remember ever playing this one, to be honest, but just another racing game. Racing games are usually not that expensive. There's obviously certain exceptions, but yeah, no big deal there. Another racing game, we got Need for Speed Carbon by EA. Need for Speed is still a thing, isn't it? I haven't really paid attention to it in a while, but yeah, there you go. And finally, X-Men 3, the official game, or X-Men, the official game as they call it, which I'm pretty sure was based on the third movie. I don't remember much about this. I remember this is a holdover from the movie tie-in era where any big movie's going to get a game. We don't really do that anymore that much. Yeah, it's straight up said it's from X-Men The Last Stand, which was really a horrible film. It's more rewatchable now when you know where the series eventually went, but at the time, I remember everybody was hyped for that. I remember coming out of the theater and just being really disappointed by that movie, but yeah, it is what it is. Although I've heard that the game's actually not bad, so that's cool. But yeah, that's it for the con. It was a great con, and I highly recommend it if you ever get to go. I hope I get to go again next year out in Columbus, Ohio, and that'll be a lot of fun. There's another con similar to it in the same place called Torg. I'm not a guest that yet. If that happens or that changes, I would happily go, but as of now, I have not been contacted about it. So, yeah, well, we will see. But let's move on to some other packages and things, and thank you very much to Gary once again for having me at Corks. Now, we got a mixed bag of packages here. We will start with one that is probably the most personal to me. This actually has been a long time coming here. This was way in development for a very long time, and it's awesome that it's finally here. And for me, it's a very unique thing, which you will see as soon as we open it up. This technically came from Canada, but then was shipped out of the United States just for efficiency. But here we go. Let's get it out here. This is the Blu-ray of A Gamer's Journey, the definitive history of Shenmue. Oh yes. Man, I could talk about this so much. So, this was made by a buddy of mine named Adam Scipione, who is the other big Adam in the Shenmue community. And so much so that a lot of people think this is my movie, because they're like, oh, Adam and Shenmue, that must be the same guy. I've had people reach out to me like, yo, when can I buy the Blu-ray? I'm like, I have nothing to do with it. I am, however, in this movie. We filmed interviews for this, like, I want to say like 2013, 2014, like 10 years ago. And then we did a couple updated ones after Shenmue 3 was announced. We filmed those in Toronto. And yeah, it was, man. I do know that not only am I in the final cut of the film, there's actually a bonus feature of just extra interview footage of me. So, hey, if anybody out there just wants, like, this is cool, like, man, I'm gonna bust out the whole thing here. I want to see the innards, you know, do the unboxing. It also came with this little like kind of poster, which got a little mangled in there, but that's fine. It's just a bonus thing. Let's see. Let's open it up. Yeah, inside it's got a memo pad, which is cute. It's just like the game, and then it just has a bunch of photos of Adam's, you know, crew over there in Yokosuka and all the interviews they did with IGN and of course Yu Suzuki himself and his whole team. Yeah, that's really neat. And then the Blu-ray itself, right here. Yeah, that's really neat. Shenmue, yeah, The Gamer's Journey, the definitive history of Shenmue. Now, it is worth noting that the movie is produced on a BDR. This is not a press disc, but all the same, it is released, and that is amazing to me. So, hopefully, some of you out there are like, ever go to a con like Korg's, if you bought this, you should get Adam to sign it. Me too, I would do it, but like get him to do it. Like that's really cool. I should have had him sign this. Maybe I'll try to track some of my buddies down. Like you know, Corey Marshall voiced Rio, of course. Maybe Yu Suzuki. I mean, I'll just start traveling around with this thing, get this signed, kind of re-inspire me back into the Shenmue scene. Not that I ever left it, but you know, Shenmue 4, anybody? Maybe let's do it. Anyhow, there you go. That's really cool. And to be fair, just because I was in it doesn't mean I got a free copy. Like, I backed that Kickstarter. I supported that, so that was cool. But yes, and hopefully Scipione can sell more of those. I don't know the details yet, but yeah. All right, now, moving on, we have some other packages here. This is something I ordered, which hilariously, as it turns out, I didn't have to, but you will see what I mean. So let's open this up here. I have this cutting tool that I'm choosing not to use. Wise. Okay, let's get through the package there, and there we go. We have a couple of things. We've got this primary box, which we're going to open, and then this side thing here. Okay. Inside, we have Xeno Crisis for the Nintendo 64. There's a little artwork for it, as well as the... if I can get it out here, the box for the American-style Nintendo 64 release, which we'll talk about in 1 second. We also have, separately, a package for the GameCube version, which includes another little card. There it is, the GameCube version. Now, this is kind of funny. So, Xeno Crisis, I talked about literally on last month's episode for a very specific reason. Xeno Crisis is an indie game that originally started out on Kickstarter that was supported and created for the Sega Genesis. I actually backed it. I'm even an NPC in the game. You can like rescue me as a hostage. And I backed it because if it reached a certain tier, they would make a Dreamcast version, which is really what I wanted. And that did come into existence. I even made a video separately on it. However, the guys at Bitmap Bureau who made this went on to put it on a bunch of different platforms, including the Neo Geo CD, and I think they put it on the AES, they put it on a bunch of stuff. Recently, they decided to put it on the Nintendo 64, and they put it on the GameCube, which is hilarious. So I had no contact with these guys other than the fact that I had backed it, whatever. I didn't really think about it. When I was at a convention last month in the UK, those guys happened to be there. They knew who I was. They actually gave me a free N64 copy, the Japanese version. They said I could take an American one, but I was like, oh, I'll take the Japanese one since I bought the American one. I even told them, like, why don't I just take an American one? You just don't ship me mine. They're like, we'll ship you yours. You can have two. So I ended up with both. But the GameCube one wasn't ready at the con. It is now ready, and here it is. What's interesting is not only is this the first truly independent N64 game, there have been ROM hack stuff, there's been things like Project 40 Winks, which was just a title that was in development and finished, but like a true, like, homegrown, we're making an N64 indie game has never happened before, and it's certainly true of the GameCube version. Now, the catch with the GameCube version is you do need a modified GameCube in order to play this. It will not work on a stock unit. You have to have one with the Xeno chip, funny enough, installed in it, or any other sort of copy protection bypass that's in there. Something like an action replay alone will not suffice. But if you have access to Swiss as a launcher, then you should be fine. But yeah, that's really cool, and so I did buy these. I guess I didn't have to, but I did support these. So thank you very much to the guys at Bitmap Bureau, and I look forward to your future projects, including future versions of this game on other systems. We'll just leave it at that, because I'm not supposed to say anything. But there you go. Very cool. Now, next up, we have a package from Stone Age Gamer. This was sent to me for free for the purposes of review. Thus, it will get its own video, but I thought we could kind of set that up and tease it here a little bit and just show you guys what's coming. So I'm just going to rip this box open like a savage and get to the nice meaty content within. All right. Okay, that's everything. Now, what we have here is the RGB Blaster for the Famicom. Yes. So this is, again, this is going to get its own video, but here's just kind of the elevator pitch. So the Famicom, the Japanese version of the NES, famously only had RF out. The Famicom is also much easier to get than an NES. It's more reliable to get, it's cheaper, etc. But the video quality on it sucks. So Crix, the guy who makes the EverDrives, designed this. I don't know the full story with it yet, but basically here's how it works. You just kind of load this into the Famicom and then put your Famicom game on top, and then rather than getting video signal out of the system, you tap into an RGB port right here on the back of this cartridge. Thus, you get RGB capabilities out of a Famicom without modification. That is pretty cool. The case is 3D printed. I don't know a whole lot about who designed it. I'm assuming it was Crix specifically. I do know that the Famicom and the NES do not have what you would call an RGB palette, so you have to basically invent one. And so that's, I'm sure, what he did, but we'll look more into that later. This is really just a teaser for that. So stay tuned, because at some point this is going to have a video, probably relatively soon. So thank you very much to the guys at Stone Age Gamer, and stay tuned for that. Now, moving on to other stuff here. This is a weird one. So there was a guy who was, his name is Zach. He went down to Brazil. And he decided, he's like, yo man, I love your channel, and I'm in Brazil, and I've heard you talk about Brazil for a long time, and about how they had a bunch of weird games, this, that, and the other. So I'm going to try and find you some stuff and just send it to you. And I was like, oh dude, you don't have to do that. He's like, nah man, really, I love your channel, and I would love to help you out, and whatever. And I was like, okay, if you want to. Like, for the record, like, I appreciate when people send stuff. You don't have to do that. Like, really, it's nice, thank you. But like, I never expect that of anybody. So, but it's really cool that you do that. So thank you very much to Zach. And I don't really know what's in here. He kind of went for like a potpourri of things, so we'll just see what it is. So let's cut through there, okay, and see what we got. For the record, he didn't ship it from Brazil. He bought stuff in Brazil, brought it back to the US, and shipped it from there. Okay, the first thing up is The Moon She Sighs Never Rise. It's like a music CD, I think. I don't know what this is. I don't know music, so I forgive my ignorance. I don't know what this is. Next up, we have a Game Boy cartridge. It's what looks like a ROM hack or a repro of Super Mario Land DX with a really weird looking version of Mario on it. I don't know what this is. It's like the plastic is 3D printed or something. I don't know what this is. So I'll have to ask him about that, because I don't know. Ooh, a game for the Wii. Always, yeah, okay. Cold Stone Creamery, Scoop It Up by Zoo. There's also, it looks like a note in there. Let's see. Hey Adam, per our conversation, here's your little tech toy care package. That's definitely a clue. Tossed in a few extras, debated if I should hide... Ooh. I'm going to keep that a secret. I'm not going to say what he threw in there, because I think that's a nice reveal. I'm going to hide blank in a Madden case, but decided Cold Stone Creamery for the Wii would provide more enjoyment for you than Shenmue. No. Shenmue better. I don't mean to be a jerk, but one of these things is not like the other. Shenmue better. But anyway. Hope you enjoy the package. I'll be on the hunt for more tech toy stuff in the future. I'll be happy to send more stuff your way, which again, you don't have to do, but thank you. I know you're not the music guy. Yep, I just said that. But I tossed in my first album from a few years ago, back when I was working on a new one, and a first listen to PlayLoad while I'm writing. Oh, okay. Well, that explains that. That's actually his songs. Cool. If you'd be interested, you can also check out my YouTube channel, Assorted Adventures. It's mostly history and... I'm not sure what that says, and something. But I do occasionally post video game content and some of my music. You can tell it's my channel because there is a video about an abandoned subway. Alright then. My channel is also linked to my... I think that says profile. I'm not sure. Best wishes from Zach and Duda. Thank you. Seriously. So let's... Yeah, thank you, Zach. So let's take a look at the rest of the stuff that's in here. This is an ad for Infamous 2 for the PS3 from Blockbuster? Okay. We have... It looks like something is wrapped in this. Okay. We've got... For the... What is this? For the Astrocade, the professional Videocade 2015 Pirates Chase for Astrocade. I don't even own an Astrocade, so cool to have a cart for a system I don't even own. That now forces me to do that. And we have another one, it looks like, for the Bally Astrocade 2002 Seawolf and Bombardier. Alright, well, now guys, we have to be on the hunt for a Bally Astrocade, because I don't have one, but I've got 2 games for it, so we gotta get started on that quest. Let's see, we've got, I think this is just packaging down here. Yep, this is all just bubble wrap. So here's the main event. This is what he was talking about in the notes, and here's what I think is definitely the coolest thing here, and by far the most, let's say, Brazilian. For the Sega Genesis, Duke Nukem 3D. Yes, one of the most, if not the most infamous Brazilian Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis releases. For those who do not know, the Sega hardware has really lasted a long time in Brazil. To this day, the Sega Master System is still supported. 1983 is when the Sega Master System started, technically, as the Mark III. Well, okay, more like 84, 85. It's still going in 2023, just in Brazil. With Sega's authorization, new content is made for it. The same logic extends to the Genesis and Mega Drive, just not quite as vehemently. This is one of the more infamous releases that this actually got made. Now, it's a horrible game. It is an absolutely horrible game, but it was real, it was licensed, it's all very official, and it came out for the Mega Drive in, I believe, 97. So it's strange. It's an expensive game, too. I guess he found it loose somewhere for relatively cheap, which is nice, but yeah, wow. Thank you very much, man. I don't even know if it'll work, because I believe this is a very locked game. I'll have to kind of tinker, but just having it is amazing. So, seriously, Zach, thank you very much. And thank you for the random just stuff as well. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to do a little more research on this Mario game, though. Now, the last thing up comes from a company called Dream Controller. Now, these guys reached out to me and basically said, like, hey, we love your content, and we would love it if you would, be willing to take one of these controllers we're working on. Now, what these guys do, and I'll put a link in the description to them, is they basically take modern controllers, things like your PS5, your PS4, your Xbox stuff, Switch stuff, etc., and they do custom paint jobs on them, high-quality paint jobs, and they send them out your way. So they were cool enough to send me one, and I thought I would go ahead and show it to you guys. So, again, I'll put a link in the description and all that. You can check it out, but here we go. All right, first we have the exterior layer of package. They clearly bundled it very well. And then that is an additional flat rate box just to keep it secured. Slide that off. And there we go. Wow, okay, so that's neat, actually. They did their own custom case for it. Like this exterior slip they clearly designed. This is Refine Your Style Dream Controller, dreamcontroller.com. And what controller did they give me? Oh, look at that. They hooked me up with an Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. But not just the Elite Series 2 controller. Let's take off the nice little packaging here, which comes in this really neat case. But when we get beyond that, there it is. Wow, dude, this is heavy. So it's custom painted, as I said before. This one has the Punisher logo, like the comic book character. I really love the Tom Jane Punisher movie. Like, I think I showed it in a video. Like, I bought the Blu-ray from that in multiple countries just to get the best version. Latest version, the best one is the German one, with 2 different cuts of the movie. Big fan of that. And it's American flag because freedom or whatever. But I also just like the paint style with the fire and the ice and all that. I thought this was really neat. But also, yeah, full-on just Xbox Elite controller, which I've never actually had one of these. I haven't held one in a long time. It is much heavier than the original. This is absolutely going to be my de facto controller now for use on the Xbox. So nice. Wow. Yeah. Oh, it's got the little triggers on the back. Like, I'm going to have to obviously tinker with it and play with it more. But yeah, it comes with all the original accessories, all the replacement, buttons and everything else that's in there. Yeah, I'm going to obviously have to tinker around with that. But I think, basically, you know already if you like these controllers because you've used a lot of them already. They just do a great job of doing custom decals. Actually, my choice between these two, I looked at, they have like a whole wide array of different options, and the one that I was settled on, other than this, I couldn't decide, was Homer Simpson. And I just decided, all right, I'm gonna go with this. But yeah, that was really the 2 choices that I ultimately boiled down to. But they got a lot of cool options over there. So yeah. Huge shout out to Dream Controller for doing this. This is great. Again, I'll put a link in the description. You can check them out if you want to. I'll put a link in the description to Xeno Crisis, to the RGB Blaster. I don't know if you can still buy A Gamer's Journey on Blu-ray or not, but I'll put that in there. And just for giggles and everything, I'll put obviously Chris's info as well as you check out those Dreamcast games if you want. So yeah, huge shout out to everybody, to Dream Controller, to Zach, to Bitmap Bureau, to Adam Scipione for finally completing that. My buddy James Reiner, who actually is also doing the shipping throughout the U.S., so good on him. Stone Age Gamer, of course, Pixel Heart, Chris as well. And thank you guys very much for watching. As always, if you guys could please do me a favor, like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't done that before, as well as check out all the social media stuff in the description: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, etc. Spreadshirt, as well as my travel channel, Flying and Eating. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all later.